All right. Welcome, everyone, to your Tri Nerds virtual course preview for the Victoria 70.3. So, I'm Coach Nick, and today I'm just going to guide you through what to expect on race day at the Victoria half, Victoria 70.3. We'll be looking at the course maps, pinpointing some of the aid station locations, and sharing some essential insights to help you conquer this course with confidence. The weather is pretty volatile on this course. As we'll discuss right from the get-go, the swim is also generally pretty up in the air, and it for sure is this year. So I'll start us off here with the swim course. Super simple. It's just a single loop course here. We swim out, we turn right at the buoy, and we swim back to the beach. It's a nice beach for sighting. There will be the big arches here, so nothing too crazy. When you're swimming this way, as you're swimming out, there's also a dock here, the row house. So it's also really great for sighting. So in both directions, you have pretty solid sighting. You guys have an early start. There's sometimes some sun in your eyes, but generally it's pretty overcast. So you'll probably have a pretty easy time sighting. And yeah, the swim course, super simple. The weather conditions are generally pretty solid, pretty flat water in the mornings here. It can be quite cold. The big issue right now, if you're preparing for the 2025 Victoria 70.3, is the water quality. And that's a call that will be made race morning. Athletes that I have who have been there recently have sent me pictures, and it's not looking too great, but you never know. The city has installed an aerator to try and clean the water quality up because it's been an issue in previous years. And over the summertime, there's usually algae blooms. And currently, there is definitely something blooming there, and it's not so pretty. So be prepared race morning. I'm sure the race organizers will be communicating leading up to the race what some of the options are going to be, but be prepared for a bike run because generally when the swim gets canceled, it's a rolling bike start, and it's just like the rolling swim start, except right onto the bike. You get out on the bike course and they do a couple people at a time every few seconds until everyone's out on the bike course. You don't get a swim to warm up. You're just waiting in line until your number is called and then you go. Be mentally prepared for that. Be mentally prepared to get the swim done, but also be prepared to not have a swim on race day. Everything else, pretty standard. It's pretty much always wetsuit legal. So if the swim does happen, you'll be able to wear your wetsuit. No problem there. Wear some like slightly tinted goggles would be great just because there can be some sun. But otherwise, you shouldn't have too much of a problem with this swim course. Like I said, it's very simple. It's easy to sight. It's a very beginner-friendly course. Let's move into the bike, which I'm going to start us off by just having a look here. So this is just the Google map of Hamsterley Beach. So this is the beach where all the staging happens. This big area up here is where your bikes are going to be. This is the lake where you're swimming. And this is generally where like the big Ironman store tent is going to be. And you'll have all of the booths for all the different vendors in this area as well. The finish line will be here and your swim exit will be here, and it'll bring you up into the bike transition. When you exit, you'll be going out this way and heading around this way on the lake. But we are coming out of the water right now, entering bike transition. There will be porta potties all in this bike transition as well. So if you need a bathroom break before you get on the bike, it's a great time. You are going to get your bike and then you're going to exit and you're going to come up on this road here. Brookley is where we're going to be going. You are going to be coming up and you're going to be making a left-hand turn to head in the westerly direction along Brookley Road. So Brookley, flat to get started, which is great. So you can hop on your bike, be in the good gear. Make sure you pre-select your gear before you drop your bike off in transition, or race day, make sure you get your bike into a good solid gear. If you're a strong cyclist, be in the big ring. If you're not a super strong or confident cyclist, start in the small ring with a few cogs up just to have some tension behind you, because flat, and then it is going to go up right away here. And from here, so got a good look here of what's going on. I'm going to take us over to the course map, and then we'll get into a more detailed view here. This is our overall course map here. It's a 90K bike loop, and as you will see shortly, it is just under 90 kilometers. We are transition here. We exit Brookley. We make a big left. We come onto Old West Saanich, and we have this big old loop. There's a couple aid stations along the way, big all the way up the peninsula, all the way back down, some more aid stations, this big out and back here, which we'll go into detail with, and then this fun little section where we're ripping through some of the smaller roads and then back onto Oldfield and into Brookley, back into transition. So one big loop. Okay, what does that look like here? So we have... So this is our start finish. This GPS just didn't pick up in time, but that's okay. But we come out of the water here, and transition is right here. You can see this is where the transition entrance exit is. This is your transition. Hop on your bike, get up onto Brookley Road. You make a big left turn here that I was showing you. And then right away, so we're starting with this little bit of a decline. Let's expand here. Let's zoom in right at the beginning, right? Oh, we don't have this. Unzoom, and let's just do the reverse here. Okay, so what you're going to see, flat, gradual incline, and then decline, and then a little bit of a climb here, okay? This doesn't look like a lot, but it's a little bit of a kicker right here. So it's a little bit sharp, a little bit steep, but very short. We then make our first left turn coming off Brookley onto Oldfield Road here, and zoom out a bit. And we got some nice rolling terrain through this part of the course here. Let's take this until we get onto West Saanich. Let's de-smooth. So this is all rolling terrain through here. This isn't very indicative on here right now, but it's a lot more of an up, down, short kicker climbs and and then quick ripping descents. And you're going to have a big descent right through this last section here before you make a left turn. It's a soft left onto Old West Saanich Road here. Let's get in here. Make a left onto West Saanich Road, and then you're going to rip right through here. It's nice and smooth through here until we get up to this little bridge section. This is actually a little climb right here. This climb, little kicker, up and then a left, and then we're back into the flat smooth, and then we cross over the highway. There's an overpass here that then takes us to the other side of the highway to Broadmead, where we have another little bit of a climb, and then we have a decent descent down. You'll pick up quite a bit of speed here before we level out and do a tiny climb right up to Blenkinsop here, which is where we'll make a right turn. We'll make a right turn on Blenkinsop, and this is a sweet, fast stretch here. So again, it's rolling. It's like a rolling descent with a little climb most of the way out until you get to the end here. And at the end, we have a sharp left turn, and this sharp left turn leads you into a sharp, steep climb. You can see this climb right here. You're just going up all the way up to here, and then we make a left turn, a little bit more of a climb right here, and then you start to descend and roll all the way back down again. So we're going to be going down all the way out here, flattens out a bit, a little bit more descent to Ash, and then from here, Ash Road, we get that little kicker of a climb there. And then once we're up there, we have a little bit of a descent, another little climb, kicker climb, and then we're descending back down onto Cordova Bay. We have a nice, this is a quick little section down here until we level out, come up into a little bit of a climb again. These are all small little climbs right here. And this is where we meet our first aid station. We go up this little climb here out of this like little rolling descent section, a little bit of a steady climb, steep kicker climb, and then we're right into a aid station here at the summit of the climb before we descend again and make a sharp right turn onto Hunt Road here. As we go along Hunt Road, this is a nice rolling section. This is some sloppier road, so it's concrete and it's older concrete. It's not so smooth through here. There's a couple smooth sections, particularly once you get up to around this area here is where it starts to smooth out again, right into this like steady little climb section. But this whole area through here, all in this Hunt Road section, We then make a nice left turn onto Martindale here. This is a nice little descent. You pick up quite a bit of speed here, and then you can pretty much just coast all the way down to your next right turn. Drink some water. It's a right turn into a fairly flat section here. And this is a great little section to take in like a little bit more nutrition. If you grab some extra gels from the aid station, take them in here because you don't have to do a lot of work here. You make a quick left and a quick right onto the highway. And this highway section is a fast section. You're going to rip all the way through here. You're going to get through this section very quickly, make a hard right turn here. And it's just going to be a quick right and then a quick left onto Lockside. Once you're on Lockside again, this is a little bit of a rolling section. Like Lockside is it's a regular cycling path if you've never been to Victoria before. This road here is part of a cycling path that runs right down alongside the highway. So it's great for cycling. This is a fairly nice area, and it goes quick. This whole section, once you turn onto the highway, this is the fastest part of the course probably. You take this all the way up, this nice smooth road until you get into the town of Sydney. Pretty much straight shot right through. It's pretty flat until you get to the other side of Sydney, at which point we then have a few little turns that we're going to have to make and a little bit of some climbing to get up over the highway. So there's a little overpass climb right here. When you get over that overpass, there's a nice little steady incline right here. This is where our second aid station is. So this is aid station number 2. Grab your refreshments, get ready to go again. And then keep climbing. When you make that right turn, you're going to keep going up through this little residential area until you open up the top, and then you have a nice quick little descent before you have a steep climb, short steep climb. And this section right here, make sure you're ready for this. This is probably the toughest turn that you're going to make on this course. You basically go straight down into a hard 90-degree turn. The descent stops at the stop sign, and you just bank left, and it's tighter than a 90-degree turn. So it's a tough corner to make. And if you don't have good bike handling skills, really slow it down through here. Once you're in this section, they've been doing a lot of road work over the last couple of years. There's still some nastier sections, but for the most part, it's a pretty solid bike route. Riders go through here all the time. It's just like a winding little rolling section. You get up to West Saanich and you have a solid, this is another fast descent, but this corner here, you can carry your speed. You're going to carry your speed through this corner and all the way along this coastal section until you get to the airport. When you notice the airport, that means you're going to have to start going up again. So prepare your gearing, because as soon as you come right around here, this right hook, there's a little roundabout section here. You're going to come through there and go right into an incline. This is a long, gradual climb. You can see how much climbing we're doing here. Big climb all the way up, nice and steady, nice and long. This part of the road, not so great. There's a couple little kicker sections here, but otherwise nothing too major. Big descent through here. And then once you get into this section right here, this is a little bit of a nastier climb again. This is a little bit steeper. It's a bit of a grueling climb. I'm not going to lie. It doesn't feel too great, but you'll get through that. You'll get up. It's also a little bit nastier on the road. You get up to there. You're going to descend again down into the town of Brentwood. You're going to make a right-hand turn at the stoplights. This section is a nice smooth section. This actually feels really fast. It feels really good. You're going to come up a little bit of an incline here before you make this big left bend. Again, you're going to have another aid station. Make sure you get fuel and make sure you are getting adequate fuel here. Make sure you have enough water because you're coming up to the longest climb. Okay. So nice and steady through here. Hit that aid station, and then you're going to do a rolling descent most of the way down until you hit Willis Point Road. It's going to be a left turn, and then you're going to have a little flat section before you go into this long, steady climb. Okay, big climb all the way up. You get to the top, you go down a little bit before you hit the turnaround, and then you turn around, a little bit of a kicker up, and then this bombing fast descent all the way down. Big descent, get down, sharp-ish left turn. Remember, it flattens out down here, so it's going to be a flat. Just let that speed slough off naturally. You shouldn't need to brake too much coming into this corner. It is a little bit softer of a corner. Make that right turn, And then don't worry so much about pedaling up this little climb. You're going to make another left turn, a sharp left turn into another climb. Okay. So gradual incline, sharp left, a little bit steeper of an incline. You're going to go up that little incline, big right-hand turn at a stoplight again, a little bit of a descent through here, a little bit of a kicker climb. This one's a little bit longer. It's not too steep, but you'll definitely be feeling it in your legs at this point until you descend into right before the lights here, this right-hand turn. Before you turn, get in gear to climb. This is another steep, short climb, okay? So this short, steep section, make sure you're in gear before this left turn so that you're not mashing your cranks, okay? Get into good gear, turn left, and then you have a little bit of a climb and then a nice steady descent and then a left turn into a little bit of a rolling section, a little bit of climbing, a little bit of descending, and then you go right all the way into transition again. We're back in transition now. Great. You're going to switch onto your running shoes and then you're going to head out and it's going to be a right-hand turn around the lake. On the lake, it's a 2-loop course. It is gravel. Okay, so let's get a look at the trail itself. Here we go. Okay. This is what your trail looks like. Okay. So it's not loose. It's hard pack. It's all hard pack, but this is predominantly what the trail is going to look like. This is the narrower section. It's not the narrowest. It widens out along the sides and it gets quite narrow. This is the type of terrain you're going to be running on. So plan your footwear accordingly because this is not a flat, fast tarmac course. So make sure you have something that has a bit of traction to it. If you've got a couple 100 kilometers on your shoes, this is probably not the course to use them. Having something that has enough of a sole remaining to maintain traction is a really good idea on this course. Okay, so you come out of this, so we come out of transition, we're making a right-hand turn, remember, and we're right onto that narrow trail. It is not a level trail for the most part. There's a few flat-ish sections that are really nice, like this whole section along here is pretty flat. This is pretty much all rolling terrain. So turn left, a little bit of rolling, lots of cornering. It's not very straight. You're weaving. There's, quite a bit of lateral movement required and cornering required here. You get out to this boat launch. You're through the trails here in the trees. You cross the boat launch area. You're back into the trees. You cross a little bridge here. This is the more trail section. So this section here is more technical. Just this little corner up here. There's more like roots sticking out of the ground. So be careful, especially if you're fatigued and tired on that second lap. Really make sure you're picking up your feet and getting that turnover. And then it flattens or smooths out again into that hard packed gravel. You'll also come into an aid station right here. Okay, so this is going to be an aid station. If you need anything, great time to grab it because it's a long way to the next aid station. So if you have pockets, throw some gels in there, grab some of the hydration that's available to you. Make sure you're staying hydrated out there, especially if it is a hot day, but usually it's pretty cool. And this year, 2025, looks like it's going to be a cooler day. This whole section, fairly flat, fairly steady, smooth, nothing really major here. No sharp corners or anything until you get down to around, where's our 8.3, until you get to the south end of the lake here. You'll have a little bit of a aid station again. This is a little bit more of a trail corner section. So right before the aid station, you have a little bit more technical trail, but again, not really. Grab that hydration, nutrition again, make sure you're staying fueled, especially here because you're going to come into another bit of a flat, fast section before you have a quick little climb and a descent and then another climb. And this little out and back is a killer. This, if you're not mentally prepared for it, sucks. There is an aid station on it again, okay? But you're going up a hill, aid station, down a hill, turn, up a hill, down a hill. Like it is nonstop. And then once you get back out to around here, it levels out again and you pretty much have a flat section through here. This is the narrowest section, so this gets really tight. So if you have to make a pass or if there's other trail users out there, just be cautious. And there are some routes again over here. And there will be a small little bridge that you cross, and then you're onto your second lap and you do it all again. It's not too technical of a course other than those few sections. And again, not a lot of climbing, but quite a few like small climbs. You're never not climbing really. There's just those two longer flat sections and that's about it. But even when you're going flat, you're not really going straight for very long. It's either you're doing some turns, some twists, or you're climbing. That's basically the course. When you finish your first lap, you'll have the option of staying left and doing a second lap, or of going right into the finish chute. And the finish chute is just like right here, right by all of the race expo and the vendors. Make sure you smile for the finish line camera and get hydrated, get parallel to the floor, stretch, do whatever you got to do to make sure that your body is starting the recovery process right away. Visit the Stratos tent to grab some post-workout protein. And yeah, that is your race course. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I also have some nutrition resources if you'd like to have a look at that. But otherwise, I hope you have fun, and I'll probably be seeing you out on course. Enjoy the day.